Are you appreciating your own desire and the way it expands and changes? Enjoying it? Finding satisfaction in it? That's really the key, isn't it? If life as it comes to you helps you find a continuing stream of new desires, and if those new desires consistently feel good to you as they hatch, then that means that your habit of thought, the thoughts that you continue to think, or your beliefs are not far from your desires. And when that gap is small, then life is good, because then you feel like you felt when you were a little kid and you got a new idea and you didn't kill it with your doubt. The idea just felt fresh and fun. That's the way you mean for your new desires to feel. Sometimes, if your new desires have not been feeling particularly fresh or fun, then you attempt, you're not good at it, no one can do it, to hold your desires back because you are worried about disappointment. But it is much better if you just let your desires flow freely, and if you find ways to keep up to speed with them. Then not only do you feel really good moment by moment, it really is the secret to living happily ever after, but you are living as the laws of the universe dictate, really, and you are, most important, fulfilling the expectation that you had as you decided to come into this physical experience to begin with. In other words, you knew that life would keep coming at you, and you knew as it comes to you that your observation of it would cause you to continue to give birth to new intentions, new desires, new wishes and hopes and dreams. And you also knew, when you made the decision to come to this physical body, that you have the mental capacity to focus in such a way that you are not out of harmony with your own desires. And that really is what we are wanting to talk with you about all day, every day, because you can't stop those new desires from coming. Life produces those, but you can get off kilter from them. You can give birth to a desire that you just flat out don't believe, and then you hold yourself in misery because you want something that you doubt. So you're offering in your doubt resistance to the desire that will not go away. An expansive desire will not stop. It was born out of the momentum of the universe. It came to you because of other desires that you have. So every now and again, you come up clashing against a desire that just rages from you and a belief that just won't quite let it go. And that really is what this workshop is about. It's helping you to find relief in your resistant beliefs. Because when you let go of your resistance and you allow the energy to flow, that's when you feel that invigoration. That's when you feel that clarity. And that's when, and this is the part we love the most for you, that's when you get to witness the power of the universe, the leverage of the universe, working in concert to fulfill your desire. And that's when you begin to accept how blessed you are and how worthy you are and how important to this equation of eternal creation that you are. You are leading edge creators. Do you know that? And you came into this physical body with that powerful, joyful intention in mind. And when you got here, you found yourself among others who also came for that same reason, but who have been here long enough that they have developed patterns of thought that have caused enough resistance in their own patterns of thought that they are sort of pessimistic. They have in many cases given up on their desires. And so they hold themselves without meaning to in a sort of tortured experience where desires keep coming to them, but their patterns of thought won't let the desires flow freely. And so they've got a tug of war going on within them that is tension and stress and illness and all kinds of things that don't feel good. And it really was not the plan that you had when you came. You knew that you were coming as a consciousness into the best environment to inspire new ideas. And you also knew that as you came into this personality, that a larger part of you, sometimes you refer to it as your soul, we call it your inner being, that your inner being would remain non-physically focused. In other words, watching what you're doing and noticing the experience that you're having intimately and incrementally with you, while holding a vibration of knowing that you can do it. Your inner being believes in your desires. And when you don't believe in your desires, then you have that resistance to your inner being. And so we're here to just help you all get back together, to help you realign with who you really are. You see, you're so important to the equation because you said in a sort of pioneering spirit, I'll go into my personality and I'll explore new into the world because there's not another who sees the world exactly as you do. I will explore and I will come, you said, to my personal new preferences and desires. They'll rocket out of me vibrationally. And you said, and I know that there will be a buffer of time from the giving birth of a desire to its full realization by me, because you know in this physical environment that you are living that it takes a while for your thoughts to turn to things. You know that there's a process where you must hold a thought and hold it consistently in the direction of what you want, that you can't want it and doubt it and move toward it. When you want it and doubt it, you go that way and that way. It's like a train with an engine going that way and an engine going that way, and the train isn't going anywhere because there's a tugging on both ends, which is really hard on the train. You're the train. So you said, I'll go into an environment that will inspire new desires. And we said, we will remain non-physically focused. And when you launch a rocket of desire, we will give your desire our undivided attention. We'll hold steady to it. And you thought that was an especially good idea because before you came into this physical body, you knew unequivocally about the important and powerful laws of the universe. You knew about law of attraction. And you knew that while you were focused in your physical body, that the law of attraction would be responding to the thoughts that you were offering. But you also knew that while you were in your physical body and your inner being was in your non-physical body, that your inner being would be being affected by law of attraction too. You knew that law of attraction is a universal law. And so you knew that the potential for your new desire to gain its attraction power because your inner being is focused upon it, you knew that. You thought that was just the best idea. You said, oh good, I'll launch the idea, I'll parlay it off to you, and you hold it tight and allow the cooperative components to gather around it. And then you said the most important thing, to which we are fulfilling our part of the promise that we all made with one another. You said, and I in my physical form will find my way to the vibrational bigness and sureness of my new desire. Because when a desire is new, it doesn't feel familiar. It's not easy for you to immediately accept a new desire. Because a part of you wants to say, well, if it were easy, I'd already have it, so it must be hard. Or if I were worthy, I'd already have it, so I must not be. And so there is an evolution process, a sort of what you might call a gestation process. What it really is a you getting ready to be 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 ready to have it process. You kind of have to talk yourself in to it. Now, if you were really feeling the worthiness that we all feel about you, you'd say, I want that. Oh, thank you very much. Ooh, that was a good idea. And ooh, now that it is manifested, I realize the perfection of my idea. But as humans, you say, ooh, that's a really good idea that I don't have yet. And while I really want it, I don't have it yet. And while I really want it, it must be sort of hard to get or I would already have it. But I really want it, but I don't have it yet. But I really want it and some have it, but I don't like them very much. They must have cheated their way to having it. But I want to do it in the most wholesome, spiritual, righteous way. But I haven't done it yet. And so without meaning to, you just keep shooting yourself in the foot because you keep telling the story the way it is instead of the way you want it to be. We understand why, because what has manifested, those thoughts that have already turned to things, boom, they're big in your life. You can see them and hear them and smell them and taste them and touch them, and they are so really, really real that the things that feel to you like just new ideas don't feel so real. And so you are, we love you so much, fickle friends. That's a term of endearment. You are so much more attracted to looking at, to giving your attention to what you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, that usually wins for you, rather than thinking about the new idea that has not yet manifested, that's still in vibrational form, that's still in the state of becoming. You would rather give your attention to what is, even if what is isn't what you want. So that's the part we're wanting to help you get over. We want you to reach the place where the satisfaction factor is so important to you that you're willing to look into the ethers of what is in the state of becoming, rather than need to look at the reality. If you don't need others to say, oh yeah, I've seen it. In other words, if you don't need a large group of people to agree that you've already got it, or that it already is, or that it's a good thing to want, then you become so liberated in your ability to create. But if you need it to already be before you believe it, then you slow yourself way, way down, and mostly you only come to believe in what others have created. When you only believe in what others have created, then first of all, you're not very original. And second of all, you have very little satisfaction in your life because, and this is the most important thing that we want you to take away from this day, what satisfies you, what feels good to you, is only a desire that you've given birth to and your closing of the gap toward it. For you to watch others get what they want is not satisfying to you. It's only when your life produces a desire within you, and then you find a way to focus and allow that desire to turn to the things in your life, that you feel real satisfaction. That's why you may really, really want something, and by some interesting set of circumstances, some kind-hearted person might give it to you. Maybe you complained enough that it was just survival for them. So they find a way to be your path of least resistance, and they provide it for you, and it is not satisfying to you, not for long, because the only way that satisfaction will ever come to you is when your life has produced a desire. That's step one, that's asking. And Source has planned out the route for you to accomplish it. That's step two. When you ask, it is given. And then step three is, you must find a way to focus your mind in belief of what you desire, and maintain that belief consistently enough that you stay out of the way of it, so that you don't keep blocking it, because that's how thoughts turn to things. Now, this is an odd statement, thoughts turning to things, to people who are mostly looking at the things that have already turned out. Because most of the world is just looking at things, and they don't want to have a conversation about what existed before the thing was the thing. But if you're going to be a deliberate creator, you've got to be willing to accept that before the thing was a thing, it was a different thing. It was a vibration. It was a softer thing. It was a more subtle thing. It was a less defined thing. It was a less specific thing. It was a vibrational thing that existed, that was focused upon enough without contradiction that it evolved into what you call your reality. Now, as humans, you've accepted a lot of far-fetched stories about how your earth has become what it has become. But it is vibration in the making, and it is not completely turned out. It is still the most elaborate, satisfying, creative haven that exists anywhere in this universe. So much so that all who are non-physical are focused here with you on your leading edge creation. And the question is, are you focused on your leading edge creation? Or are you regurgitating what's already been created and complaining that you don't have more of the pile than you do.